With Stefano Manservisi, we talk about the EU's global gateway and the difference between aid and partnerships. We are at the European University Institute for the State of the Union Conference 2023. Stefano, what is the biggest challenge for the EU and its partner countries to move beyond aid to real partnerships?
Well, I think that the biggest challenge lies in the European Union, because in reality our partners are asking to be partner more than donor since many years. And this is just to recreate a sort of mutual trust. And therefore the big challenge is to be credible in this transformation, not to give the idea that it's just instrumental to form of political alliance and new conditionality. The real issue is therefore to be not only to be partner alone, but to establish concrete partnership with our third countries with which we are doing the development business. The development itself has changed. So therefore, it's the real challenge is to find a new balance, a new trust, and to define programs together, really together. This is probably the biggest challenge.
And what kind of opportunities are there to develop such a different kind of partnerships? Are there some examples you can give?
Well, the opportunities are huge because in reality, today, working to fight poverty, just to use a slogan which is known by everybody, is not just to solve or to contributing in solving problems in specific countries, but really to address the systemic challenge of poverty across the line, across the world. On one side, it is what the Agenda 2030 told us already in 2015. But today, after the war in Ukraine, after the big pandemic, the economic crisis, the big opportunity is that really we can shape a new, more sustainable world together. It's not easy, because obviously political issues are also there. But the fact that we can have a new tool in order to do things together and to conceive programs together, this is a real opportunity that we have to seize.
The EU, of course, has its Africa strategy, but the African Union also has its own Agenda 2063. They have their own plans. How do these two come together?
Look, you have probably seen that the European Union is rich in strategies for Africa, but we haven't seen an African strategy for Europe, And therefore, I think that the two agendas should candidly be put on the table to match each other and to really give the opportunity to establish an alliance, not only to, let's say, make reforms and make initiatives at grassroots level, which are still important to fight poverty, but really to create an environment in which many things are put on the table, in particular the governance issue, how we will decide together where, the reform of the financial institution like the World Bank and IMF are crucially important. The consolidation of the multilateral development bank and the involvement of private sector is what matters the more. Therefore, this is a bit what we have to do together with our African friends, including addressing migration issues, which are, by the way, already on the table because Europe needs more workers, and Africa has a demographic trend which makes obviously very difficult to be matched by job creation. But in any case, this is the key issues that we can do with the two agendas, which are not very different. But agendas are paper. Now we must find concrete alliances with leaders, with people, and on concrete projects.
Make them concrete. In fact, Stefano, relationships, international relations are, generally complex, but in particular, the relationships between the EU and, let's say, Asia, Africa, and Latin America are complex, and there's often a difficult history. Could you tell us something about the misconceptions that exist or continue to exist about these partnerships, and maybe misconceptions that we need to urgently address?
Look, I think, first, the European Union has to get out from, and is doing that, to get out from the idea that, cooperation partnership is for the poorest. In reality, middle-income countries, particularly Latin America, the Caribbean, etc., should be fully on board, because this is a real partnership to make the world more sustainable. This is the key issue. Second, the misconception today is very simple, is that, many African countries, but also Latin American countries, Asian countries, are considering that we are developing a sort of anti-Chinese strategy. And therefore, they take that with care because, and if you were in your place, you do exactly the same. They want to keep all the doors open because for them are all opportunities. Therefore, the key things is to say, yes, we are more geopolitical. Yes, we have to take into consideration our value, our objective, to explain that plainly, but to be fair in what we are doing and investing together. The next summit with Latin American and Caribbean state, which will be held in July, next July, will be a moment of truth, because these countries are very diversified. These countries are already very much linked economically with Europe, but they are not linked on the same, let's say, political narrative. Now, let's not pretend to have them all on board and exclude somebody else, but let's try and set up a concrete mechanism which can drive and govern our relationship. This is mainly the big challenges, and the misconception is this: you are instrumental. Are you credible? You're shifting from a donorship, which was bad, but clear, and now partnership, what does it mean exactly? Do you want us to sit with you every time you vote in a certain way in the United Nations? We say, well, let's talk about that also, because it's not normal also that we are partnership, put a lot of money, and then free hands. It's more adult, let's say, relationship. This is the biggest misconception that we have to address, and on which we have to be really ready to listen to them, but them to listen to us too.
Yeah. I think it's very important always, right, in a relationship that both sides listen. Yeah. Stefano, thank you so much for sharing, taking a snapshot of international partnerships based on your decades of experience in EU policy and, of course, also in development policy. So thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you for you, and good luck.
Thanks.